Yeah, welcome to next Python session on control statements. So today we are going to see different types of control statements which are there in Python, where we starts with if we are checking a condition whether it is true or false. If that is true, what you're going to do, and then we'll go to if else, and then if else. These are all said to be conditional control constructs in Python. Later on, we'll go to while loop and for loop, which comes under looping control statements. Okay, so let's get started with if condition. So how to use if and all we'll see. Later on, we'll move to break, continue, pass statement, assert, and return statements. So what is if statement? It's a statement used to execute one or more statements depending upon the condition is true or false. So if the condition is true, then it is going to execute a set of statements. The set of statements is said to be here suit in Python. Okay, in other languages like C, C++, Java, people will say block. There people use curly braces to denote a block, but here we don't have curly braces. So we need to use something like indentation. Okay, so what we do actually in syntax if and then we write some condition colon, and after that we'll give some indent like tab space, and then we'll write some statements. So whatever statements which are there after tab will comes under if suit, or you can say if block. There is no curly brace begin and end like C, C++ syntax. Okay, so this is the point we need to remember. So after writing the statements, and if you write any statement directly under if, that will not comes under if suit. This is the point we need to remember. Let me show you a small demo so that we'll understand how this if will be used. Okay, let's go to PyCharm. We'll create a new. So right click on this new project, Python, new Python file, and we say Python demo 41. What was the number? Last number? Yeah, 41. Even number, odd number. We are doing same thing. Let's start with the same. Okay. Yeah, demo 41 underscore if one. Okay, if demo one. Click on OK. Now it's right. So what are we doing here? We are accepting a number from user, and we have to say whether it is even number or odd number. How to do that? So what to do? First, I'm taking a variable like n is equal to integer of input of enter a number. Now the number is ready. I have taken a number into n. Now I need to check whether it is even number or odd number. Okay. So what to? I'm writing here if. So what is the syntax? After if. Hello. Yama. Any doubt? Yeah. So if after reading a number, we need to check whether it is even or odd. So what to do? We need to divide the number is easy divisible by 2 or not. We need to check. For that, what I'm writing? If n mod 2 double equal to 0. If divisible by 0, I mean 2, in the sense the remainder is 0, colon, then what I'm writing? Print a even number. Okay? Yeah. So if this condition is true, then this will be printed. So if line number 3 is correct, then line number 4 will be printed. So 4 is the suit of if. So what happens if I write something here like directly print something like hello? Okay, let's run it and check it out. Run. So I'm entering number now, like I said, entered 4. Press enter, see the output. 4 is what? Even number. What is this next line? Hello is printed. Okay, so the condition is 4 mod 2 equals 0. Yes, true. Even number printed. But what about hello? Hello is not in this suit, if suit, but still it is printing. So this print hello is not belongs to the if suit. This is the point we need to remember. Let's run it again. Next time I'm giving 5. Actually, 5 is not an even number. So 5 not equal to 0? No. But still, so if this is false, even number won't be printed. But what about hello? Hello will be printed 100% irrespective of the if suit. Let's run it and check it out. I mean, I gave 5 now. Press enter. See the output now. This even number is not printed because the condition is false. So it will come out of this, and then this 5, line number 5, print hello will be printed 100% irrespective of the if condition. So what it means? This is not at all belongs to if suit because it is outside the indent. It is not under this if suit. So make sure that when you are writing statements under any if suit or while suit or any for suit, all should be in a similar indentation so that those will be comes under the particular suit itself. Got it now? So let's write one more now. I want to say whether it is odd or not now. For odd also we need to write one more condition. N mod 2 double equal to 1 if remainder is 1. Then what I'm saying? Print odd number. Yes, absolutely good. We can also use else statement, but the you know, but the problem with else is if the first condition is false, blindly it will execute else block. So else suit will be executed if the first condition is false. That's all. It never bother about whether it is true or false. Okay, I'll show you. Yeah, let me add this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can also use else, but there is a problem with you know if else. We'll discuss it later. I'll tell you. Right now. So what is happening? Let's execute now. So if I give 6, 6 mod equal to 0, yes, even number will be printed. And then 6 mod 2 equal to 1, no, so this won't be printed. And this will be printed. Hello is printed. Or you can write any other, like end of the program. End of the program, something like this. Okay. So this end of the program will be printed if I give 6 even number followed by end of the program. Next I give 7. 7 mod equal to 0. No, it will come here. 7 mod equal to 1. Yes. It prints odd number followed by end of the program. So end of the program is not belongs to if suit and this if suit and this if suit. So that it commonly executed for all the statements. Let's run it and check it out. So I'm giving 6 now. What did it say? Even number, end of the program. Let's run it again. Let's give 7, enter. See odd number followed by end of the program. Is it clear, everybody? So line number 7 is not belongs to if suit and the first if suit and second if suit. Or if you write else here, else suit. Okay? It is not belongs to any of them. This will be 100% executed. So it is equal to this line. So how this line is getting executed? Line number 2 and 3 and 5 followed by 7. These all belongs to one indent, one suit. And this print statement comes under if suit. This print statement comes under this if suit. So like that, these blocks or suits will be divided. So this is the point we need to remember. Okay. So now a small change I want to do. I want to print a 6 is even number, 7 is odd number. So what to do? So yesterday I told you. Can anyone tell me? So we have to say no. Here itself, I want to print. See what I'm saying right now. 7 means odd number. I have to say 7 is odd number. Message should be changed. So what is the print statement I need to change? Yeah, before the double quotes, n comma, and inside this I'm giving is odd number. Here also I'm writing this n comma is even number. So now let's run it again and see the output. Excuse me. I'm giving 4 now. What is the output? 4 is even number. So is even number will be concatenated. N value will be printed. That is 4. Here also again I'm running it. This time let's give 9. What it is saying? 9 is odd number and end of the program. Got it? Huh? So like this we can do if statements. and we can also use if else. We'll go to that later. Okay. Yeah. Now, yeah, let's add this. Yeah, fine. Next, next example, I'm going to check big number between two numbers. Okay. So how to do that? So what are the three levels of if statements in Python? So let's say this. So even number, odd number is done. So now we are going to check big number between two numbers. Okay. So what are we going to discuss today? Control statements or control structures. Excuse me. So we have started with if. Okay. Yeah. So there are three levels of if else, and if else. So what is the first one that we are using right now? It is used when we have only one condition to be checked and to execute the set of statements or execute the suit if it is true. Okay. Syntax, I told you already, same thing. That is if then we'll write some condition here. If this is true, then whatever statements you want to print, we'll write here statements. So it can be n number of statements. Okay, so we have to give some indentation, proper indentation we need to follow. Okay, yeah. So now let's go to checking big number between two numbers. Okay, create a new one now. Right click, new Python file, and I said demo 42 underscore if two I said. So checking big number between two numbers. So what to do? Let's take a and b. So what I'm saying, a is equal to integer of input of enter a value. I'm reading a value from user. Then I'm asking for b value as well. B is equal to enter b value. So both are ready. After reading a b values, what I'm saying, if a greater than b colon, if that is true, print a is big. Or you can give a outside of this double quotes, you can say is big. That is fine. It's your wish. Now, second condition. So there might be chances of b greater than a now, so that I'm writing b greater than a. Print b is big. And third situation, there might be equal case as well. So for that also, I'm writing if a double equal to b. So what is meant by double equal to? When you are comparing two variables, we have to use double equal to sign. When you are assigning one value to another, you can use single equal to. So this is the point we need to remember. So what I'm writing here, print, excuse me, both are big. Yeah. And same program can be done with the elif as well. We'll discuss it later. But right now, we are focusing on how this if is getting executed when you run it. Okay. Let us see. So I gave 7 and 2. 7 greater than 2, yes, 7 is big. Then it is checking 2 greater than 7, no. So this will not be printed. Then it is checking 7 equal to 2, no. So this won't be printed. So only this one will be printed just because of the condition. Let's run it and check it out. So it is asking for A value. I gave 7. B value I said 2. See the output now. What it is saying? A is big. Or you can give A outside double quotes and E is big. So 7 is big will be printed if you want to print like that. Okay. Right now I gave like this. See 7 and 2. So obviously 7 greater than 2 is big. Now let's execute it again and we'll give some other values. Like I'm giving 2 and 11. See the output now? So it is coming and checking A value 2. So 2 greater than 11? No. 11 greater than 2? Yes. So B is big is got printed. 2 equal to 11? No. So this won't be printed. So we got B is big. Okay. Finally, let's execute again and we'll give equal values for both 11 and 11 I said. What did I say? Both are equal. Is it clear, guys? So in this way, we can write if condition in Python. Okay. Yeah. So now let us move to the next example where I'm going to use and and if condition together. So and operator. How to use and in if condition where we are checking two or more conditions. Let's see the next example now. Right click on it. New Python file. I said demo 43 underscore if 3 I said. Click OK. Now checking big number among three numbers. So what to do? A is equal to integer of input of enter A value. I'm reading first number. Then I'm asking for B value. Then I'm asking for C value. Let us change it as B and here also B value and then C and C value. So all are ready. After reading ABC values, so what should I say now? If A greater than B and I'm using and is a keyword in Python which is checking two conditions to be there and A greater than C. So A should be greater than B as well as A should be greater than C. Then only I will say that A is B. Okay. Next condition. If B greater than A and B greater than C. So if B is bigger than B and C, what I'm saying? Print B is big. And finally, if C greater than A and C greater than B. Okay, third number may be bigger than second and first. So this is the way I'm writing. Print C is big. And finally, fourth case, all may be equal now. So for that, what I'm writing? If A double equal to B and B equal to C. Print all are equal. So like this we need to. Yeah, that is what. If A, B are equal, then we can check B with C now. We need not write again A equal to C. If A equal to B and B equal to C. So A, B are same now. You will need to compare either with A with C or B with C. Both are absolutely same. Huh? Yeah. So let's run it and check it out how it is working. We'll check all the cases. Right click run. So A value 10, B value 20 and C value 30. Obviously C is bigger. So, 30 is big. That's good. Let's give big number in the middle. A value 10, B value 50 and C value 40. Now what it is saying? B is big. Perfect. Now let's give A value bigger than the remaining. Like A value 10 and B value 9 and C value 4. What it is saying? A is big. Now let's give all same values for ABC. Let us say 9, 9 and 9. All are equal. Okay? Yeah. So this is the way to write multiple conditions with the and. And we can also go for or statement later. Let us see the real-time example. Like we need to accept roll number, name, and marks in three subjects of a student and we have to say whether the student is pass or fail. Okay, in that case, we can use this or statement as well, and or both together. Okay, so let me show you that example. Any doubts in this program? So what is and here? So I'm checking the both the conditions. If A greater than B and A greater than C, if both are true, then only this will be printed. Here also, B greater than A and B greater than C. If both are true, then only this will be printed. So AND means how many conditions you are writing. If all are true, then only if suit will be executed. So that is the point we need to remember when you are working with AND operator. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the next example. And then we'll come back to the tasks I gave you yesterday. Okay. We'll focus on the tasks. How many of you completed the task, ma? Hello guys, I gave you 3 tasks yesterday. Only one student. What about others? Yeah, we'll focus on the tasks as well. Okay. Yeah. So what is this program is all about? We are accepting roll number, name, and marks in 3 subjects like MPC marks, and we have to say the student is pass or fail. So student result, pass or fail. What is the pass mark here? 35 marks minimum. I mean greater than or equal to 35. That is my condition. Greater than or equal to 35 in all subjects. All 3 subjects. That is what my condition. If student got greater than or equal to 35 in all the 3 subjects, then I will say student is pass. If student is pass, then I will think of the remaining. What is the remaining activities? If student is passed, then I need to print total marks and average of marks. Otherwise, I never bother about the remaining. Student failed, so I need not bother about total and average. So that no rank, nothing. Okay. So that is what we are talking about this example. Here, I'm going to use this AND condition and OR as well. Both will try to use it. Okay. Let's write a normal without using any if conditions. We'll just read roll number, name, marks, and we'll go ahead. Okay. So RNO is equal to RNO means roll number, integer of input of. If you have any doubt, please stop me in the middle, ma. You need not wait till the end of the program. Okay. Yeah. So enter roll number and RNO is ready. Roll number is ready. Now what should I ask for? I need to take the name from student. Since name is string, I'm writing directly input enter student name. So that's ready. After reading roll number, name, we need to ask for marks in 3 subjects. So what I'm saying, m is equal to integer of input of again integer, so that I'm asking, I'm typecasting with integer function. Enter marks in maths. Then I'm checking something like physics and then chemistry. M, P, and C. Enter marks in physics. And here it is chemistry. So all the 3 are ready, boss. I have taken roll number, name, and marks in 3 subjects. Now, what is the next job? Input part is over. So in every program, as I told you in the beginning, every program follow IPO cycle: input, process, and output. So input means we need to accept values from user. That is done. Next process, the logic. What is the main logic I need to do? I need to check whether student is pass or fail. Okay. First, we are going to do normally just like total and average, and then we'll run the program. Finally, we'll come back to this and we'll modify this result concept. Okay, pass or fail. First, let us write total. Total is equal to, okay, m plus p plus c. Just we are adding all the 3 subjects. Then average is equal to, okay, total by 3. So calculation part is done. Now I'm printing print roll number. I mean mark list. Here I'm printing student marks list like that. Student marks list. You can give school name or college name like that, but right now, I'm giving like this: student marks list, comma RNO, followed by name of the student, comma name, and then like yeah, total and average. Okay. So let us print total and average. Marks also we can print, but I don't want to waste the time. That is the reason I'm directly writing total and average. So this program is not at all doing any validation, just simply reading values from user and calculating total and average, printing for all the students. So whether the student is pass or fail, we'll get total and average. That's all. This is a normal program. Okay, let's run it and check it out. Right click, run the demo. I'll see the output in the bottom. Roll number, I said 1. Name, I said Ram. And see the mass marks 50, 60, and 71. Present. See the result? Student marks list. Roll number 1, student name Ram, total and average. That's all. Okay. So whether the student got pass or fail, we are getting. Let's run it again. See now student is pass because all are greater than equal to 35. That's fine. Let's run the program again. So now let's give marks. Roll number 2. I said Prakash, and I'm giving marks like 50, 99, and 34. Last subject fail, but still it will give you total and average. See this? Total 183, average 61. Average also we got. The result is fail actually. But what is my intention? Only for passed candidate, I wanted to print total and average. For failed candidates, I need to print roll number, name, and marks in 3 subjects. So that he or she will check themselves, that I got failed in so and so subject like that. So in that case, so I need to go for this if condition. So only for passed candidates, I need to show the message result is passed followed by total and average. For failed candidates, I need to print just a result fail followed by roll number, name, and marks in 3 subjects. There is no total and average. That is the my intention of this program. Okay, let's try to modify now. So what to do? After reading marks from user, instead of calculating total and printing directly, what I'm doing here I'm writing the actual logic. Result. So what I'm writing? If m greater than or equal to 35, first condition, and physics, maths, physics, all the 3 subjects should be greater than or equal to 35. That is the actual condition. It's not the matter of average. Average I got 61, but still I got failed because I got 34 in chemistry. Got my point, huh? It's not the matter of average. It is the matter of each and every subject we have some minimum marks. So that I have to satisfy. If I satisfy that condition, then only I will say pass. So what I'm saying, P greater than or equal to 35 and C greater than or equal to 35. In all the subjects, if I got greater than or equal to 35, then what should I say? Print result is equal to pass. So this is the first thing I need to print. Once the student is passed, then I want to do this total calculation, average calculation. This is what I need to do. Okay? Yeah. See now? Then I need to print all these things. See, this is said to be proper indentation. So what is meant by this statement now? If all subjects greater than or equal to 35, then only I will print all the statements. Then only I'll calculate total and average. Then I'll print marks list, student, roll number, name, total and average. So what about failed student? If student is failed in one subject, then nothing will be printed for him. Let's run it and check it out. Right click, run demo, and then let's see the output now in the bottom. Roll number 1, name I said Ram, and marks I'm giving like this 50, 60, 99. See the output now? Result is pass. See the marks list, of course, result should be inside the marks list only. Yeah, you can give anywhere, no problem. Yeah, see this? Result is pass, student marks list, roll number 1, name, total and average. What about fail? Let's run it again. Let's keep it here. Yeah, this is good to see. Let's run it again. Now this time I'm giving roll number 2. I said Prakash, and I'm giving 88, 99, and 34 in chemistry. Press enter. See the output now? We don't have any result. So what is my intention for failed candidate? We need to show result is fail followed by marks in 3 subjects. I don't want to print total and average. So what to do? For that, I'm writing another condition now. So what I'm doing here, if, so what I'm writing, now I'm going to use OR condition here. If m less than 35 or P less than 35 or C less than 35. Actually, we can use else here. Okay, so instead of else, I'm going to show you the usage of R. So in any one subject, R means what? If any one condition is true, this will be executed. So if you get less than 35 in maths or physics or chemistry, student is failed. Simple. So print what I'm saying here, result is failed. And what I wanted to print if student is failed, I want to print roll number name followed by marks in three subjects. So print maths marks, comma M, physics and chemistry. You can print in a single line actually, comma like that. For better clarity, I'm giving this in 3 lines. Okay, chemistry, physics. Yeah, now let's run it and check it out how it is going to be printed. So what is this end? If all conditions are true, if student got greater than equal 35 in all the three subjects, then I will say pass and I want to calculate total and average and I want to print everything. Student is failed. I want to print this message also. Student marks list like that, followed by result fail, and then roll number, name, and marks in three subjects. There is no total and average at all. Okay, so in this way, and or will be used. Let's run it and check it out. See the output now. Roll number, I said 2, name I said Prakash, and then I'm giving marks like 50, 99, and 32. Present. See the output now. So what is the student mark list? Result is fail. Roll number 2, name Prakash, marks 50, 99, 32. Got it? Huh? So like this, we can do this OR condition. Let's run it again and we'll give greater than 30 equal to 35 in all the three subjects. Roll number 1, I said Rahul. Then I'm giving 88, 99 and 100. See the output now? Roll number 1, Rahul, and 287 and average. Of course, we can print marks also. Marks in three subjects as well. Okay? Yeah. In this way, we can use this student mark list program. Inside that, I have used two conditions like AND condition and OR condition. Any doubts in this, mark? So, can anyone suggest me how to make this program shorter? I thought this program is lengthier, but I want to make it short. Yeah, that's good. Else statement is absolutely good, ma. But the statements, number of statements I'm using are more, na. Can I make it short instead of writing this many? Because we have some common statements for all the students, na. Say, for example, here also I'm printing marks here along with this student name and followed by marks I need to print like maths, physics, chemistry marks. Also, we need to print past candidates as well, na. So let us keep it as after student name. I want to print. See, when you see this program, don't you feel that it is lengthy code? Up to here is common was we can't change it. We have to ask the user for roll number, name, and marks and preset. That's good. Checking condition. This is also Paka. We have to write it, and this also we need to write. Of course, we can replace with this else. That is good. But I'm talking about these statements. Can we trim these statements? See, let's run it. Meanwhile, you think, I'm running for the first student, said Rahul. Then I'm giving marks like 85, 95, and 100. See, the result is student number 1, Rahul, and marks total average. Okay, that's good. Pass candidate, this one. Now let's give again, execute it again. This time I'm giving roll number 2, I said Prakash. And I'm giving marks 85, 65, and 33. And the result is fail. And then we got a just roll number, name, marks, and 3. No total and average. Because student is failed, I don't want to calculate average and total. This is good. Yeah. Now you tell me how to make it trim. The number of statements, how many statements we have in this program? 28. I thought it is big. Can I make it short? I want same output again. For both, pass candidate, I want to print maths, physics, chemistry, marks, and fail candidate also I want to print maths, physics, chemistry. But I don't want to write this many lines of code. I want to make it shorter. Of course, we can write print statement, mass, physics, chemistry in a single line. Instead of that, can you tell me? Anybody, guys? Please type your answers. How to make it short, or you can say in mic. You can unmute and explain it. Anybody? Shailaja, Nikhil, anybody? Naveen, can anyone give me suggestions to make it shorter? So, yeah. Anyone saying ma? Or shall I say answer? Hello, mic testing 1, 2, 3. Hello. No, no, no. I don't want to use LCPR. I don't want to use LCF and else. Of course, you can absolutely fine, ma. You can write else and we'll get the same output. But the main intention is how to make it short. In the sense, I don't want to write repeated statements. See, here I wrote some statements, print, pass. No, no, no. Printing is fine, whether you use percentile or directly with comma. But statements repeated, na result. Roll number, name, marks in three subjects. Roll number, name, marks in three subjects. Student mark list. This is repeated again. I don't want to repeat. Shailaja, only one print statement is used for all. No, no, no. That is okay. That's good. But the thing is, whether you are printing with one statement or all statements, but statement should be repeated, na? I am writing those statements again. Twice I should write, but I don't want to write for twice. Only one time I want to write. See here, how many times I wrote? Student mark list. Yes, ma'am. Hmm. Yeah, that's good. Good idea. But within this file, I want to do within this file only, single file only. I need to do. No, don't go for loops because it's only for one student right now. Yeah. Okay. See, the solution is just now I told you something, na, something called indentation. Indentation, common indentation. Suppose I want to print whether the student is pass or fail. What are the common statements I'm printing here? Roll number, name, marks and three. Am I right? Student mark list. Of course, pass and fail is different from student to student. That is why these statements I'm cutting. Let's save it in a separate file, so that you'll understand more clearly. Let's copy paste into another file and we'll modify. Okay, so that you'll understand difference between two. Demo 44A I said underscore student result. Two. Let's copy paste the code. Yeah. Now let me trim this program. So how many lines earlier? 28 lines. But I want to make it short. For that, what I'm doing is I'm cutting these statements which are common in both the blocks, both the suits. Cut it. Okay. And I'm printing here. Got it? Roll number, name, and the mark list also. Got it. Student mark list is compulsory for student pass or fail. Roll number is mandatory. Name and marks also I supposed to print actually. And then pass fail is different from student to student. Now student is result is pass, then only pass and average. Fail means what to print? Delete this. And I need not write it. Just print result fail. That's all. Am I right? result fail. Oh, sorry. Within double quotes we need to write. Okay. Delete this. And for more better, result I need to print here now. First, let's run it normally. Then I'll modify. Is it clear, guys? So first, I'm accepting marks in three subjects. After that, immediately I'm printing student mark list, roll number, name, marks in three subjects. Then I want to say student pass means I want to say pass followed by total and average. Fail means just I'll say fail. I don't want to print total and average. Got it? Huh? Let's run it and check it out. See the output now. Roll number 7. I said Ashok. I'm giving marks 85, 95, 100. See the result. Marks list 7. Ashok. Marks in three subjects. Result pass. Total average. Done. Now let's run it again. We'll give some other roll number like 11. I said something like Dinesh. Okay, I'm giving marks 74, 99, but 32. See the result. Result failed. Okay, we got marks in three subjects because he or she need to check in which subject got less than 35. Huh? So that is the reason we are printing mark list, roll number, name, marks in three subjects, but result is failed. No, sir. First result failed, followed by then others means we'll modify. We'll keep this if conditions out above this. You know, yeah. So after the student name or after this, we'll write it. Here I want to print marks, na? Result, na? Fail or pass. Then you cut it and paste it. Okay. So is it clear, guys? So if you write directly under this indentation, roll number, name, MPC, this is said to be commonly executed statements for all. But what about this tab space? So these statements are comes under if suit. So these statements from 17 to 21 will be executed if 16 is true. And this statement will be executed if 23 is true. So that is how if suit will be executed. Here I have used uh, and or, and instead of this lengthy statement, as he said, we can use else here. There is one more, making short. Of course, we haven't started else, that is why I didn't explain it. But this is absolutely fine. Let's run it and check it out. Right click, run. It's work exactly like earlier. Roll number 1, I said Rahul, and then I'm giving marks 85, 95, and 100. See the result? Pass. Okay. Now let's run it again. Right click. Roll number 2, so Prakash, 85, 45, and 31. So marks list, we got marks and failed result. Okay, whether you want to print result first, and then you want to print remaining is your choice. Okay, that you need to try mark. After student marks list, immediately we need to print result, pass or fail. After that, I want to print remaining things like roll number, name, and marks. Okay, so you need to try that. The order only we need to do change. Okay, yeah. Is it clear, everybody? So like this, the code need to be reduced. You know how many lines we have saved? 24 lines right now. What about previous program? 28. 4 lines we have saved, of course. But no repetition, no code redundancy. This is what. What is this? Student name, roll number, name, marks in three subjects, roll number, name, marks in three subjects. What is this code redundancy? What is meant by redundancy? Repeating same code again and again. This should be avoided in a good programming practice. When you are practicing coding, try to eliminate the commonly written statements, repeating statements. So that is a good habit. And try to remove, this kind of multiple conditions instead of writing or many times. You can use else like that. Okay, yeah, that's good. Is it clear, guys? So in the first example, I shown you without code redundancy normal way, and I wrote so many lines of code, and I used and or conditions, and second situation I used else instead of this. Okay, yeah, this is done. And what else you need to do is you need to add something to the same program. That is, you need to check whether student is got passed in A grade or B grade or C grade or D grade. What is this grading system? We have some average conditions, so that you need to satisfy. Okay, let's go to the tasks list today. Where is the program notes? Yeah, yesterday I gave you some tasks, na? Task 3, yeah, let's make it as 4, task 4. Task number 4. So you need to print grade of the student as per the below conditions. So what are the conditions? Like if average is this much, in between this one and this, grade is this. For example, if average is between 80 to 100, then the grade is A. If average is between 70 to 89, oh sorry, 79, then it's B grade. Okay. Now 60 to 69, then C grade. So greater than equal to 35 to 59 is D grade. Got it? Huh? Is it clear, guys? The question is clear. This you need to try only using if condition, because we haven't touched this elif part. Anyhow, today I'll try to show you this elif as well. First you do it with if condition, how to use if condition to reach the task. So 80 to 100, if average is between 80 to 100, then you have to print pass. Result is pass in your common, followed by the grade is equal to A, like that you need to print. And then 70 to 79, so between 70 to 79 means B grade, 60 to 69 C grade. 35 means anyhow pass, na? Yes, ma. In coding, na? Yeah, if condition, yes, you can mention. But you can't write directly to 80 to 100, but you can say greater than or equal to 80 and less than or equal to less than 100, like that you can write. You can't write that. Yeah, that is the reason. You need to write both of them. So how should you write is if average greater than or equal to 80 and average greater than or equal to, or the average less than 100. In this way you need to. Got it? Huh? Yeah. Then you have to say print grade is equal to or print grade A. Like that you can write. Yeah. You need to try it. Yeah. So this is the task mark. Later on we'll modify the same task with Elif later. Okay. Yeah. So guys, any doubts of the yesterday's task? Anybody? Task one. Okay. You where you did it? You wrote in notebook or somewhere else? This one. Okay. Is it clear? Easy, or shall I go to next exam, next task, guys? Accept current year and year of birth from user, and you have to say minor or major. If age greater than equal to 18 means major, otherwise minor. Age calculator. Of course, later on we'll see we use date time module, which detects automatically current date and time from the system, and it will say whether if you give year of birth, it will automatically calculate your age and prints, and then your age followed by minor or major. That is the next level. But the basic level is we need to ask both of them from user. Input current year, enter current year first, then born year 2000. So we need to subtract these two. Then we'll get some age 20 minus 2000 means you'll get 20 years. So your age is 20 years followed by major. So less than 18 means we have to say you are a minor. Okay. Yeah. What about the task two, ma? Yeah, let me show you quickly all these tasks because these are all small things. Yeah, tell me other, or else you can choose, ma. Which one is tough to you? Let me show you. Accept number from user and say whether positive or negative or neutral. Yeah, let me show you quickly all these three tasks so that we'll give you some extension to this. Pardon, ma? Hmm. Maximum four digits. Of course, you can take more digits as well, but that we can do later in loops concept, while loop or for loop. No, 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 no length method. If condition, you can use if condition. That's what I gave you using if statement. No, no, I don't want to use length. Can you tell me how to do? Uh, Tell me how to do. We don't have length method. Don't think like a BTech student, ma. Think like a school student, so that you'll get the answer. Okay. How to know a number is having one digit? Suppose I said 8. How do you say that it is a single digit? One process is by counting. How many digits? Only one digit. I'm counting. Okay, only one. Fine, one digit. And here I'm counting one, two. So two. This manual counting. Instead of counting manually, do we have any other logic? Hello, guys. Any other logic? If I say the answer, you will laugh. That's why I don't want to say. Okay. No, no, no. I don't want to do that. That is okay. What you said is right, and we can do that without converting into string. Can I do that? Can I use less than greater than? Less than greater than. How? Hmm. Mm-hmm. No, no, no. Hmm. That's the problem. So what to do is just use less than greater than. Use like a school student, I said. Nah? The answer will be simple. You need to use a number. If number is between 0 to 9, it's one digit, na? That is why I asked you to do this. Okay, greater than a number greater than equal to 0 and less than 10, one digit. Got it? Huh? So number is greater than 9 and less than 100. It is simple two digit number. So number greater than 99 and less than triple nine, less than 1000, it is said to be three digit. Greater than triple nine means greater than triple nine means four or more digits. That's all. I don't want to go for other number of digits, five digits, six digits, and all. Okay, let's do this now. That's why I asked you to think like a schoolboy. Okay, if you think like it's like complex or yeah, 45 dot. What is the task number? Task three. Task three. I'm giving solution. Yeah, to print number of digits in the given number. Okay, so what I'm saying, n is equal to integer of input of enter a number. Number is ready. What to do? If n greater than or equal to 0 and n less than 10. So what I'm saying here, print one digit. Again, I'm writing another condition. N greater than 10, sorry, 9 Greater than 9 means obviously up to 10 onwards, na? And n less than 100. So it is nothing but 10 to 99. So what I'm saying, print 2 digits. Like that, I'm writing up to 4 digits. N greater than 99 and n less than 1000. So what I'm saying, 3 digits. And if n greater than 999, then what I'm saying, 4 or more digits. That's all. Let's run it and check it out. Right click run. So let's give something like 6. What it is saying? 1 digit. Clear now? Run it again. 16, 2 digits. Run it again. 164, 3 digits. Run it again. So something like this, 1645, 4 or more. Done. So in this way we can. This is not the best logic actually. So the best logic is we need to go for dividing a number with 10 and we keep on counting how many times the number is divisible. You can count digits with while loop and all. We'll see later. But this is the basic logic how to make use of AND operator. That is the reason I'm giving like this. Clear, guys? Simple task. That's why I gave you condition in the task itself. Don't use while loop and all. Okay. Don't use length and all. Length is okay. That's fine. We are converting into string and then str function we need to use if you want to convert. Have you tried this out, guys? Using str function? How many of you tried with str function converting n into str and printing the length? Anybody tried out? Mm-hmm. Convert, very good, very good. Directly you can do it. Good idea. So n is equal to enter a number directly. Input of enter a number, then automatically it's a string, and your friend length of n means you will be getting length of n and print that. That is good. But if you give like that, the problem is the user might enter some alphabets as well. Okay, that is the issue. For that we need to use exception handling. Actually, I'll tell you later how to use exception handling. All these things in a chapter separately. We'll discuss it. Is it clear, guys? So I'm expecting everyone to finish all the 3 tasks which I gave you in last session, and three tasks I gave you. Let me keep all the tasks in a sequence. Let me delete all these things because we have done it already. Yeah, task 4 I'm keeping in the last. So yeah. So hereafter I'm giving a unique number for all the tasks, ma. So it will continue like this. Task 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. So every task you need to try on your own, do it, and then check yourself whether it is printing as expected output, and then you can do this.